The root of burnout isn't effort. It's actually effort with no reward. How do I know this? I've experienced it all when it comes to content creation, burnout, and there is one thing that I can say for certain. If you don't have a content strategy that is leading people to an offer, you're wasting your time. Now, if you genuinely enjoy creating content and you like creating as a creator that doesn't lead anybody anywhere just for the fun of it, that's different. I am talking specifically to my small business owners, my solopreneurs, who are trying to make their content be the driver of traffic to their offer or to the thing that is going to lead them to their goal in their business. Keep it fun if you genuinely enjoy creating content. But for most business owners that I have met over the past 5 years of being a content strategist and producer, most business owners and solopreneurs hate creating content, like actually hate it. Hence why there has been a ginormous boom of social media managers since 2020 because they'd rather somebody else do it for them. And I, for one, have been a social media manager since 2020, so I can vouch for that. In this video, I want to show you why your burnout is most likely linked to the lack of an offer-led content strategy and how to fix that so you can actually move the needle in your business through your content. Whatever your goal is, whether it's more income, more community, more growth, these are all things that your organic content can do for your business. If you're new to the channel, hello, my name is Liz. I am a 5-year content producer and strategist and 2-time business owner. I started a business in 2020, a wellness product business. I was crafting products, creating content, and I basically let content creation take over because I had no boundaries. I had no guardrails to show me how this can all work for me. And that is when I established Essence Presents Production in 2021. And that was me helping business owners and solopreneurs, very much like me at the time, create content to help them build their business and create community online. Have you ever gotten the advice to just post to be consistent? Well, same here. And actually, that was part of my downfall in how I got burnt out from content altogether. You see, when I started Brilliant Pit, I was just creating content to be consistent. And what I didn't realize was not leading people to my products, which seems so obvious, but instead just talking about the ingredients and why it matters and why they're valuable. That was actually why I burnt out, because I wasn't leading people to directly my shop and the products, and I wasn't getting feedback. And therefore, it kind of spun out, and I basically burnt out from that in and of itself. If you're not leading people to something, product, service, or otherwise, you are going to burn out as a business owner. Now, this is different for my business owners who are maybe a personal brand and you want to take on sponsorships, you want to have affiliate links. That I can understand that you can just post to stay consistent, and therefore you will eventually get more sales the more consistent you are with your affiliate links or your sponsorships. I am talking to my organic business owners who want to create organic content through podcasting, through making videos on YouTube, and drive people to their offer that is under their business name, under what they have done, what they have created or crafted. If you're watching this and you don't yet have an offer, focus on that first. I actually run a 5-week program where I work with you directly, one-on-one, over 5 weeks, 1 call per week, and I take you through time management, offer creation, content strategy creation, and automation. Those are the 5 pieces of the puzzle that will allow you to build an income stream through content. Grow your email list through content. It all depends on what your goal is. So if you're interested in learning more about that, I'll have that linked below to book a free discovery call with me, and we can see if we're a good fit to work together. So if you don't have an offer, focus on that first. What do you want to offer? What do you want your life to look like? What do you want your day-to-day to look like? These are questions that all actually really matter when you're developing your offer, because guess what? Wherever you're leading people is what your life is going to look like if you stay consistent with your content creation that leads people to this offer. So make sure your offer is something you really want to incorporate into your daily life and live it out. Like, make sure your offer is aligned with your dream life, okay? So now let's talk about what content is actually supposed to do for your business when you are leading people to an offer. Content is literally your traffic source. It is the way people find you. It is the way people become comfortable with you. When we think about the buyer stages, right? I'm sure many of you have heard that term, but it's basically the process in which you are converting somebody to buy from you. So you might think, okay, for me to buy a skincare product, I'm probably going to see some form of an ad, or I'm going to see some form of UGC content from a creator who's talking about it. But this is the awareness stage, right? I'm the coldest audience to that product, and I'm just now finding out that this person used this product to get rid of their hormonal acne, right? Around that time of the month. That's something that I deal with, right? So wow, I'm gonna listen, maybe I'll give that person a follow. And now that I've followed that person, I found them because they were dealing with a very specific problem that I dealt with, right? That is key. You want to be relatable in this cold outreaching content because you want to make sure that you're reaching the right person, not somebody who just kind of relates to you and is just gonna follow you just to, see what else you got going on. You want people to follow you because you're speaking right to them. So I follow this person because I'm like, wow, I'm dealing with the same exact thing. I want to see what else they have to say, and maybe there's more proof, maybe there's more value I can learn. So I follow them, and then all of a sudden I'm learning about certain hormonal levels in my body that might be off, and hey, they have supplements for that too. There's supplements, there's skincare, and guess what? It's all natural. It aligns with my values of minimalist ingredients, and therefore I begin to trust them. I'm relating so much to all of these little pointers of what they're expressing, and therefore I'm building trust with them. Anything they post, I'm pretty much always watching. Now it becomes the holiday season maybe, and they have this crazy 50% off deal for first-time buyers of their signature offer, right? This is a perfect example of how you can bring people in through content. This was more of an example of a UGC creator creating content on social media, but the same thing can happen through YouTube. And especially if you're a person who works with people one-on-one, maybe you're a service provider, or maybe you offer something that can help them achieve their goals in their business, like you're a B2B type of consultant, YouTube long-form content is going to become your best friend. Why? Because people are paying you with their time when they watch you, because they're not just swiping by after a 2-minute video. They're sitting with you for probably 5 minutes at least, listening to what you have to say and listening to your expertise, and basically building this trust even deeper in just one content piece. So that is what content can do for your business. So how exactly can an offer-led strategy fix burnout, right? So how exactly does that work? Well, here's the thing. When we don't see results as humans, we tend to feel like that's a waste of my time. I shouldn't be putting in more time to something that I'm not seeing the results from. Now, there's a bit of a gray area here when it comes to first getting yourself out there and creating content, because there is going to be an area of time, especially in the beginning, maybe even in your first couple years, where you are creating content and you are building community. It is not so much about bringing people into your offer, although the calls to action don't stop and they should never not be said. You might need to just build your foundation first. People want to go to your website. They want to see that you have an established presence, right? This might take some time for you to build up. But at the end of the day, an offer-led strategy is going to avoid burnout because you are always going to get eyes on your offer, even if people aren't actually converting in the beginning. When you start to see results, for instance, like comments, right? Results don't necessarily only mean sales. You might get comments that change your perspective on your approach, right? That is a result. You might get 40 email opt-ins from one YouTube video, like I did. And that is a result. Even though it is not directly correlated with more money or more income, that is still a result, especially if your goal is to grow your email list. that is exactly what your goal is, and you got that. That's basically success, right? When you are leading people at least to something, you are always going to see the results, no matter if you just started yesterday. Give it a month or two, and you're going to start to see clicks on the links. If you know how to look at your analytics in the back end of your website, you're going to start to see email opt-ins to free resources. You are going to start to see results, and you have to celebrate those results, even if it's not the long game of what you want. Maybe in the long term, you want sales. This has to do with you getting sales. You growing your email list will correlate to you getting sales down the line. You getting clicks to your website is only positive feedback in the algorithm of what your website is doing for people and what kind of people are heading over to your website. It's information, it's data, it's stuff that can at least help you in the long run to then grow your business, get more aligned clients or customers, and eventually you are going to see the results from organic content. I promise you that. To give you a real life example of this, I have a client who is a consultant in the wellness industry, and she is on YouTube now. She produces a podcast with me, and we actually started in February, March time. We just came up on our 6 months, right? It's August, it's late August. And she is now getting, just from podcast episodes, right? This is not topic, evergreen strategy type of production that we're doing. She is now getting at least 10% of her reach outs are coming from YouTube. And at this point, that was actually 3 months ago. So at this point, it's probably more like 20%. And she's just seeing great results, great engagement with this podcast production. And it's just all thanks to consistency and always mentioning what she has going on, and programs and mentorships and things that she is leading people to is so important. And all it takes at that point, when you have something to lead people to, all it takes at that point is consistency. So I wouldn't want to leave this video without giving you insight into one of the more obvious causes of burnout, and that would be time management. Now, a lot of people think that burnout only and solely exists from a lack of good time management. Now, that is not true. As you can tell from the whole topic of this video, it really is a offer-led strategy, the lack thereof, that is going to get you more burnt out when you are constantly creating with no results. You're going to get emotionally kind of subconsciously burnt out from that. There is the whole element of timing and how much time you're taking to create content. And there is no rules when it comes to this. And that is why people experience burnout, because there's no guardrail for how long you should take creating content. There's no outline for success because everyone sees success differently. And there's also nothing out there that says, hey, if you spend this amount of time, it's low quality, but if you spend this amount of time, it's high quality, right? Like, it's truly something that is so boundless. And it's exactly why I started helping my clients with this. I actually have 3 astrologer clients that I help out with time management as well as producing content. And so when you work with me one-on-one, if this is something you're interested in, I try to get you to create content less than 10 hours a month. The act of creating is really something that should be on an automated schedule. And my goal is to get you to 10 hours a month. If you wanted to put in a tiny bit more effort and have longer pieces of content, think like 30-minute videos, that would be more like 20 hours a month, okay? But when you think about that, and you think about how much time people actually take nowadays, I will tell you, I've worked with 40 plus solopreneurs, creative business owners in the past 5 years. They all have told me personally that it takes them about 10 hours a week to create content, right? And so it really depends on what your business is, but you really should never be taking that much amount of time to create content, especially if most of what you offer does not have to do with content itself, because people like authenticity. People really enjoy watching you just speak about what you know, and it actually comes off more believable and more trustworthy when you do. I'm sitting here about to move in a couple of weeks, and there's boxes all around me. There's not really a good place to film, but guess what? This little corner looks pretty cool, and I'm just sitting here on a random Thursday afternoon talking to you guys about content strategy. And to me, and to you probably, it's just this authentic hangout session that feels like we're just chatting, we're just getting to know each other. And I don't know how we got on this topic, but basically my point is that people value authenticity. It doesn't need to take that long to create content, and you actually can do this in 10 hours or less per month. And I can teach you exactly how to do that through my methodology. Again, I take you through 5 weeks, 1 call per week, and we are going to get nitty-gritty in your business and run through time management, your goals with your online offer, content strategy, creation, and automation. I'm going to teach you all of it and exactly how to do all of it in 10 hours or less every single month. This is going to be so manageable for you, especially if you're busy and you don't want to create content all the time and you feel like you have no guardrails, you feel like you're just out in the ether trying to figure out this online marketing thing. I get it. I was there, and this is the solution that I created because I was you. So if you are interested in learning more, hop on a call with me. This is a no pressure call. We're just gonna talk and see if this is a good fit to work together. I am only taking on 1 more client before I head into my move era. We're actually moving out of state. So I'm taking on 1 more client before September 8th. I think this video should be out around September 1st. So if you are interested in that, please book a call with me below. It's completely free, and we're just gonna gauge if we are a good fit to work together. So I want to thank you so much for watching another one of my videos. I hope it helped you out a lot. Please comment below if these videos are helpful to you, and if you wanna hear me talk about another topic that maybe I've experienced with my client work, or anything that has to do with content production, content marketing, content strategy, I am your girl. Thanks so much again, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!